Did you hear? Yeah, girl, what?
Hey guys, thanks for joining us on Hey Girl, Did You Hear? I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jessica.
Today, I don't even know what we're going to talk about.
Today we're going to talk about our pets.
Aww.
One thing that either all of us have had, have endured,
Yes.
have enjoyed. Someone's got a story about a pet
They do.
from somewhere.
They do. Jessica and I are huge animal lovers. I've had so many dogs. Currently have like 4 dogs living in my house right now. Before we get into that, make sure you hit that hit that like and subscribe button below. Tell all your friends about us. Share us around.
Tell all your friends.
All of them. That show that you just told me to watch on Netflix about the pets.
Inside the Mind of a Dog.
Yes.
So that one just recently hit Netflix. I know they have another one that is Inside the Mind of a Cat. I did not watch that one.
I would not watch that one.
Mainly because I'm more of a dog person.
Same.
But I do respect the people who.
I like cats. Trevor's severely allergic.
Oh.
And I personally just am not a fan of the smell of cats. That can happen.
I like cats. Cats don't create a lot of companionship for me. Right. So I need something to give me that attention back. I don't want to have to go find it.
Right.
Yeah.
And cats are very weird. Like I had a cat growing up, and he was actually a really cool cat. He enjoyed affection. His name was Hammer. His actual name was Hamlet.
Okay.
But my dad called him Hammer.
I love that.
But he was a cool cat. Really chill, like not like your normal whatever typical cat. I don't know why my headphone is like that. There we go. Why didn't you tell me I had one cocked off to the side?
I thought it was for a purpose.
I was like, why does everything sound so weird? Anyways, but he was a cool cat. Later on in life, I got another cat in my adult life, and it was a stupid cat. I hated it. She sucked. She knocked anything that was on a table off. Like, she didn't like affection. It was just not. I didn't enjoy having her as a pet.
Really?
Mm-mm. But I never had dogs where I was like, this dog sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Have you
No.
had a dog where you felt like this dog sucks?
No.
That's good.
Every dog that I've had has been a pretty successful experience.
You actually used to do like dog breeding or competitions or something, didn't you, when you were younger?
So we were in 4-H as a
Yes.
kid, and we had dog shows
Right.
in 4-H. So we would, have little competitions to win ribbons and accolades and stuff
But
like that.
that's so cool.
But yeah, no, in that you learn how to get your dog to do the basic sit, stay, come, or the recall or whatever they call it. We got into agility, which was a lot of fun.
That's super fun.
Because you get to run them over like the obstacles and stuff. I had a lot of fun with that one. So we did do a lot of exploring in that dog world.
Right.
So, and then as I grew up into adulthood, just always gone off and rescued a pup or two and then just existed.
Right. When one crosses the rainbow bridge.
I know.
Another one
you give it
eventually
time to heal,
circulates back
and then
in.
another one comes and finds you and is like, hey, guess what?
I need a home.
You need me, so here we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have 2 dogs now, yeah?
I do. Captain and Pepper.
How many dogs do you think you've had in your lifetime?
I'd have to count for a second. Do you know your number?
It's small. I probably including the dogs I have now, probably 7 or 8, I think.
Like, are we counting childhood dogs?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I didn't have that many childhood dogs. I only had 2.
I had a bunch of really
because one
cool
lasted a really long time.
Childhood dogs, yeah.
My mom had a little Maltese.
Oh, no way.
And her name was Sasha.
Aw.
And she was super cute. She lived to be a long time. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
those smaller dogs do tend to live a lot longer.
Yeah. No, she lived to be like 14 or 15, but she was blind. Like, she got cataracts.
So she didn't
her
start
old
out
age,
blind.
no.
She just ended
She
up
got
blind.
cataracts.
Poor
Yeah.
thing.
She was really sweet though.
Aw.
She just died of old age.
I think like
Did
the
you
most
have a lot of childhood dogs?
we did. We had like a lot of cattle dogs, which I thought was really cool.
That's cool.
So I have a lot of really cute memories with those, and that's what we used in 4-H for those dog shows and things along that nature.
Did you guys win?
Yeah.
Why did you laugh like that?
They know.
Like an evil
They
laugh?
know. Well, okay, so
Okay, mom. Jessica's mom. Sister.
No. Here we go. So once upon a time, when we first started 4-H, we didn't have a dog yet, or a dog that was really quite suitable for the task. However, the neighbor across the street did.
Okay.
She had dogs that were classically trained to do kind of the basic confirmation tasks. And I had gone over to their house every day and used and worked with their dog to, get him to do the things, to understand, these are the tasks that I'm learning. Like I went through all the motions.
Right.
But I did not go through all the motions with my dog. So,
Oh, okay.
and the dog was kind of classically trained before I even got to it.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
I wasn't using your mom's Maltese. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I
Which
follow.
everybody else in 4-H was. So they.
So you were using other people's
I
dogs.
used my neighbor's dog that I trained with. Right.
Right.
I
But
went
you
over.
did the
I
work.
put in the work.
Yeah.
I did the thing, but that didn't really matter.
I mean, there was a little bit of a baseline already there, right? And you just kind of
in the dog, and then I learned from
them,
the dog owners,
right?
The neighbors, and the dog itself,
right?
So when I did amazing in the competition, they were like, "Here's your prize." No, wait, never mind. Sorry, we're gonna give it to this kid because that's actually his dog.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
Oh no,
that's okay.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, that makes sense. I don't know anything about like the dog competition world, like in that aspect. So I don't know how that works. I didn't even know that you could be the one like showing the dog, but it's not even your dog. I thought it had to be your dog.
Well, because my mom and my sisters got into corgis. Corgis are really cute. I mean, the queen's dog, right? Everybody loves a great corgi, and we've had a lot of
they are
really cute corgis in our lifetime. I think my sister's doghood lineup would consist of a couple corgis. But so they went into things like the Plum Creek Dog Show and like showed for AKC and, kind of they didn't really ever like breed puppies per se.
Right.
But that is a part of that world.
That's
is just
cool.
making sure that like the bloodline runs true. And that, I mean, because that with Vinny and Kobos and keeping like the papers and all that stuff lined up, all the certifications, all of the this is this stud with this bitch, so on and so forth. They did this, they made that. Here's the genetics for it. There you go. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
So
here's all the information.
Right, which is wild.
Yeah.
I mean, that dog is papered. That's what that phrase means, I guess. But
and it's crazy because you don't really, unless you, there's so many little like avenues within like the dog industry. And the reason why we're talking about all of these different avenues within the dog industry is because like circling back around to the show that we watched, they were talking about like they were showing like how they train a lot of service dogs and stuff like that for like medical use and so forth. And our dog Vinny in Florida is a service dog. She's a PTSD service dog is what she's registered as. But she is also they call it like a 1% dog, where like their obedience is in like the 1 percentile. So like her and Kobos are like in that 1%, like 1 to 3%, because their obedience is so good. And Vinny is considered like it's called like a Schutzhund, I think, which is like she can participate in show. Like I could train her easily to be like a show dog and do like the agility because she has a very nice little prance.
Oh, I see. She would be good in confirmation.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes. And she loves the obstacles. When I take her, if I ever take her to a dog park, which is very rare, the only time I ever do is if I happen to see one that there's no dogs at and they
Right.
have the obstacles. She
Right.
loves them. It's so
Aw.
cute. But she's also trained as like a protection dog. I'm just gonna say it in that way.
Right.
You know, so she does all the bite work and stuff like that. I could send her after someone if I needed to. If I was in a situation and needed to like protect myself, I could send Vinny easily after anybody and she would take them down. So I feel very safe walking with her anywhere.
I think they call that scary dog privilege.
Scary dog privilege? Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But like knowing how those types of dogs are trained, like police dogs and military dogs and stuff like that are trained, is so different than like a medical service dog.
Oh, I bet.
Like in what they showed, like in that show, I was like, wow, that's really interesting. They wouldn't do it that way for this type of training.
Oh, I can only imagine, right?
I was like doing the comparison as I'm watching, you know?
Right.
But I mean, that makes sense because if you look at those types of service dogs, their temperament is very chill.
They have
They're
to be
very docile. They're very
the term
chill.
was bomb-proof.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know. And Kobos is his temperament is he's a very chill dog. And just so everybody knows, Kobos is our partner and our friends Pat and Raven's dog. We mated Vinny and Kobos together, and they had one puppy, which is super rare, which is a whole other episode in itself to talk about that whole debacle. Excuse me. But she had one puppy. His name's Uno.
Cleverly
I
done.
know.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, they the way that they train them is just it's so different. Kobos's temperament is really, really good. Vinny is very much a working dog. Like she loves to work. And those dogs that are trained like for police and stuff like that, their drive is sometimes so high that they're just not good working, or they're not good family.
They're not good pets.
They're not good pets.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad. Before I learned all of this, when we got Vinny, I used to think it was sad when I found out like a lot of police canines. Sometimes the officers, or the handler, I should say, they don't always bring the dog home. Sometimes they just leave it in the kennel at the police department. Or if they do bring it home, they leave it in the garage in their house, or they have a special room for it. They don't let the dog interact like with their family because it's not a family dog. And I say that in the sense of it's not going to like attack the humans or anything like that. It's just its drive is so high that all they want to do is work. So when they're out with their handler, they think
they think they're working.
They think they're working.
Right.
Like, and their motor just instantly is turning on. We got our little fidgety things that we like to play with while we're chatting with you guys.
Try and keep us still.
Yeah. We're like, so we don't bounce out of our chair. So stupid.
No,
we're just being real with you guys. Come on. We got all kinds of stuff to play with over here. But yeah, it was really cool to see like the different dynamics in that, and like working with Vinny and seeing all of that and seeing how different it is for like medical. I was like, wow,
that's insane.
it's fascinating.
Yeah, because I have 2 pets.
Yeah. And we have pets.
Oh, yeah. You have a great dog.
We have a great dog, and then we have pets. our house dogs.
So I can't imagine that it's like Vinny the favorite child compared to your house dogs.
In a sense.
I mean, they're not listening to this.
No, they're not.
You can tell them which one's your favorite.
I would say, Vinny is the favorite in the fact that we can take her literally anywhere with us.
That's right.
We can fly with her. We can take her to restaurants. We can take her to the grocery store. We can take her anywhere.
Right.
Which is amazing. Excuse me. And she's very well behaved, obviously.
Right.
To do all of those things. Now, I mean, you have people out there in the world that bring their dog, their house pet, out to the grocery store with them.
I've seen that.
And that's not okay.
Like small dogs in carts at Target.
Yes. Like I would not take any of my dogs in my house right now. Any of the 4 of them. I mean, only 2 of them are actually mine, but any of my 2 dogs here, Ranger or Lucy, I would not take out in public with me anywhere.
Weird.
I wouldn't take them because I know they're not going to behave properly in public setting. So why am I going to subject not only my dogs to that stressful environment, but the other people in society that I'm interacting with, you know?
I see what you're saying.
Like, I don't understand why people do that. Because I've also been out with Vinny a lot in Florida in stores, and people bring their dogs everywhere out there too. And I've walked into stores before, and another dog is trying to like walk out, or they walk by, and that dog is like, rah, 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 like freaking out. And
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding
Gotten
me?
super reactive.
Like, that is not, let me tell you, people, that is not a service dog. If dogs bark like that and act like that in public, they are not a service dog.
No.
Because service dogs do not act that way.
No.
They do not.
But like, where are appropriate places to bring? Is it a matter of not bringing the right kind of dog, or is it a matter of like, because I take Captain and Pepper into places like Petco.
But do they behave like assholes? Are they reactive to humans or other dogs?
No, Captain gets a little like friendly to other people because he's super curious, but
right.
he's not. He doesn't like bark and snap and snarl.
He's not like making a freaking ruckus and causing a scene.
No,
throwing a doggy tantrum.
no, not at all.
Exactly. So that is completely acceptable in my opinion.
But then
to
I
bring
also
your
try
dog
and take
places.
him to like appropriate places. Like I bring him to Home Depot, but Home Depot sometimes is like a line that I don't like crossing, or that I shouldn't cross, but I do. So unfortunately, I do take him there sometimes. But
your dog is well behaved, like I said. Like
for the most part, like I'm trying. Like
right.
I want him to be that way. So I take him into situations like that, and
right.
I work on keeping him calm, keeping his attention on me, trying to like maneuver that whole situation to where eventually I could do that and we could just be out
chilling.
Like my favorite thing to do is to take him through drive-thrus on the weekend, because it's like, why not?
Yeah.
Like,
and
I mean nobody's getting out of the car.
Right. And a car ride for a dog is still like enriching to them.
Is it really?
Yeah. I read like a really short, like little article that was like a 10-minute drive. It can be equal to, a 10-minute walk as far as like their like stimulation, like their senses stimulation.
I get that, because Captain sticks his nose out the window.
Yeah, they're smelling, they're looking around at everything,
Pepper just wants to be a part of the party and just stares at the inside of the rear door. But
I have a very big pet peeve for people that take their dogs in public places when their dogs are reactive and barking.
That's fair.
I think that it's completely ridiculous, and I think that those people are stupid. Like, they should not bring their dog out. They're idiots for thinking that their dog is okay and trying to justify it in however they try to justify their dog's behavior, because it's embarrassing. Like, they should be embarrassed. Like, if any of my dogs acted like that, I would be embarrassed.
Right.
Like, Vinny will sometimes do like a little woof when she sees little dogs for some reason. Especially if they react to her first. Like if they start, their little high-pitched yaps at her first, sometimes she'll have like a little woof.
Right.
But then if we correct her, she shuts up after that. But it's just unnecessary. Like, as a dog owner, I would be completely embarrassed if my dog acted like an asshole in public.
Right.
I've been at the dog park with Ranger before when he was a puppy, and he acted like an asshole, and I left immediately because
I do that all the time. Well, I'm like, that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't like going to the dog park.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of people who have reactive dogs. Yes. Captain, unfortunately, isn't reactive, but he's a little bossy. So it's almost like he starts stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, I don't need.
He's a little alpha guy.
Yeah, he's a bossy little shit.
He is. He's so cute.
He's so cute.
We'll share some pictures with you guys of our dogs.
Absolutely. And so I know that his behavior is not appropriate for the dog park, so I leave.
Right.
And I don't enjoy the fact that people bring his personality times 10 to that situation.
Yes.
And just make it worse. Because I know, like, there's people who have huge, like, dog parks are the devil. Don't take your dog there. They're just going to get sick and die. Or if you take your dog park, or you take your dog to a dog park, they're going to have behavioral issues forever.
Yeah, it's going to ruin your dog.
I mean, it's like, I get it. But that's just another way to give them some sort of like interaction, stimulation, something other
socialization.
Than the circle walk of trainers, we take them on.
Excuse me. A lot of trainers recommend, to try to get with your friends that have dogs to socialize.
Right.
Excuse me. versus going to a dog park for that reason, because there's just so many unknowns that can happen at dog parks. And I've seen so
much
stuff happen there that I'm like, you know what?
I gotta go.
It's just better to just not.
I know.
Like, I would hate for something to happen to my dogs, even if it wasn't my dog's fault.
Mm-hmm.
I would be pissed at that person, especially if they were like a shitty dog owner, you know?
Right.
Because it happens way too much.
I mean, I try and stay vigilant, right? Like,
Right.
I'm not staring. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not there chilling. I'm watching my
watching your dog.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like when I used to take Ranger there when he was a puppy, because Ranger is very scared dog.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lot of anxiety.
Mm.
And he's just always been like that since he was a puppy. I don't really know. I have an idea of what I think happened, but I tried to take him there to, you know, get him more socialized and be more confident of a dog, right?
Right.
And he was doing really, really well for a while, and then like a couple times I would take him and he would act like a freaking asshole walking up to the park, even like while he's on leash, he's like howling, rah, rah, like talking, you know, being all vocal, like jumping, doing like 360s, like not listening to me. And I'm like, okay,
Right. I can't handle that. We gotta go.
I was like, I am not gonna be this person right now. Like,
right.
no,
You were making us
not
look
even
bad.
Yeah, like if I saw me walking,
If you saw that walking into the dog park, you'd be like, oh shit.
I'd be
here
like,
comes this
I'm
girl.
like, that person does not need to bring that dog in.
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
is what I would be thinking.
Yeah.
So hell no, I'm not gonna put my dog in that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We did actually try to take Ranger with us to Florida initially to be on the show with us, because he was still young enough. We were gonna try to train him to be, you know, a representation of like a police sheriff, you know, type canine dog for the show.
Right.
But when we took him out there, he did not like leaving the comforts of his house.
No.
It made like his anxiety way worse. And he was so scared. And we ended up putting him in, we couldn't get him back here without driving him back to Colorado, basically, because we knew that he had to come back to Colorado at some point, but we weren't going to send him back to Colorado in that state of mind.
Right.
Like,
you had to get him to like calm
we had
down.
to like redirect what we had kind of messed up or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so we found this trainer and put him in this little boot camp to kind of rebuild his confidence again. And then we had Peyton and her boyfriend fly out to Florida and drove Ranger back here to Colorado.
There you go.
So now he's home. Well, not now, but he's been home.
Right.
But like that's another like whole situation that I was unaware of that could happen in dogs.
Yeah.
You know, and that show is really cool because it explains a lot about like the puppies and like their development and stuff like that, which I thought was really interesting, because there are different stages of that, which I learned about when we dealt with Vinny having Uno.
Oh.
And there's a lot that goes into that. And we're at 23 minutes already. Just kidding. I mean, no, I'm not kidding that we are at 23 minutes, but yeah, but in the show I thought it was really cool because they do talk about it. And then they show like the different stages of like training that they do.
The phrase that stuck with me the most is survival of the, what did they say? The friendliest.
Yes.
I was like,
which
that's
is
so true.
So funny because for like canine working dogs, it's like the complete opposite.
Really?
Like you want the dog that is pushing the other puppies out of the way to get to the milk.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You want the dog that is acting like a little mini alpha dog.
Well, I meant that more
bully.
towards like watching the dogs evolve from like where they started in the evolution of just being another wild animal out there with humanoids.
Yeah.
And to where, you know, versus if their species just kept attacking us, could you imagine what we would have in our houses now?
Oh God.
Like, would we even still?
Probably not.
No.
Probably
like,
not.
The other part that kills me is they're like, okay, every dog is a descendant of wolf, right? So I love this. I love this because I look at a Pomeranian and I go, how far did we stretch that line?
For real.
Right? I look at, you know, I mean, I see it in some of the other dogs, like your dog and Vinny, and, you know, some that have a little bit more of that resemblance, but I look and I'm like, how? How did we get there with a poodle? How?
Because people are like, let's take this dog and
then just mix
smash
it
them
up like
together and see what happens.
Go. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, enough is enough with the crazy breeding, in my opinion.
I agree.
There's too many breeds out there.
Designer breeds.
There's too many like cross breeds out there. And I think what ends up happening is that is like part of the reason why, you know, some dogs may not be living as long as they did back in the day.
Right.
Because there's dogs that, like, large breed dogs back in the day typically lived to be like 16, 17 years old. And now they only live to be like
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. I had a large breed dog that lived to be about 10.
Yeah.
It's always sad.
And Jake was like a medium-sized dog,
Mm-hmm.
and he lived to be 11. You know? But yeah, like, I don't know. It's crazy because I feel like it just sucks to see like that evolution change.
Is it a digression?
So yeah.
Think? Yeah.
Like, there's no need to recreate all these new breeds. And that's not even considered a breed.
It's because we want it.
Like a lab and a freaking poodle.
So they're hypoallergenic.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. And that, I mean, those dogs are cute.
You're like, good for you.
That's great. And those dogs are cute. Yeah, like,
Right.
I get it. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the dogs. Trust me. Like, I truly do.
That's why I love mutts.
But
they're already
let's not
pre-designer.
Let's not take a big ass dog, like a large breed dog, and a
Mhm.
small breed dog and combine them.
Well, okay. So
Because
then
that
there's
is
some,
genetically fucked up.
yeah. That's a way to say it.
It is. That is not fair to the animal, in my opinion, because that crossbreed like that, I just don't
Is not
think
natural.
is not natural.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's got to do something to their bodies that is probably not good or natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So stop doing that.
Don't do it.
Don't fucking do that shit. You can always tell when I get like mad about something because I start cussing. And I start waving my hands around.
And like your whole like sensor just editing bar goes
Beep, beep, beep,
way
beep.
up because it's all you. Sis.
No, we're past this time now. It's fine.
Even better.
I don't have to cut out the beeps. What else did you like in that show? Do you think that was the best? Or like, how do you think, like, you know,
so there was
in general?
there was a button dogs, I think, is a weird. So button dogs are, I don't know if I've seen this in my socials, but they have these little pre-programmed, like, back in the only way I remember this is like back in the day, Staples had like an easy button and you smashed it and it was like easy, and like, so dogs have a similar something to where they hit the button and your voice comes out saying, you know, drink or walk or door or whatever commands or words you want to give your dog to give to you.
Right.
I mean, and I get it that our dogs do communicate with us. Like, that's clear.
Yeah.
Obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can see that he's demanding my attention by the way that he's acting.
Right.
Right? I'm not
Yeah,
dumb.
if you have a dog, you can usually figure out.
He doesn't have to speak English,
Exactly.
right? I don't need to give him buttons to tell me what to do.
Right. You don't need to give him a button to tell you that he needs to go outside.
No. Well, and I mean, unfortunately, with where we live, we can give them access to the yard all the time.
Yeah.
So
you have a dog door.
yeah, it's nice.
That is nice. We should get a dog. No, we should not get a dog door.
Oh God, could you imagine?
No, we should not.
It's hard because it's the stuff that a dog door allows inside your house.
I know. We used to have, remember on our like our sliding glass door for the backyard, we had one of those like the magnetic screens.
Oh yeah.
Which were amazing
Those
because,
were
you know, when
great.
it's really nice outside in
And you wanna
Colorado,
kick the
I
door
love
open.
having like the fresh air come through, but I do not like having the flies that just come in
Oh
the house.
yeah, all the
when you
rest
have-
of the
yeah.
bugs. Yeah.
And I didn't want to, the sliding glass screen we never had when we moved into this house. So I got one of the magnetic ones.
Yeah.
And the dogs could go in and out. They figured out how to like push through the little thing. But the fucking dogs
Destroyed it.
destroyed it.
Yeah.
Like 3 of them
We
that
had
I've
one
purchased.
of those for one of our screen doors too. It was great. We loved it.
And then
it just-
eventually
time
it
took it
just-
down. Yeah. Yeah.
But they are really cool.
Yeah.
What a great investment. Or a great product, I should say.
Very easy assembly.
Very easy assembly.
Easy setup, easy takedown.
It's funny.
It's great.
Did you ever think about how many dogs you had in total in your lifetime?
Now
I just
you're
remembered that
asking
we
me
had
to
that.
solve my math question.
Yeah.
Um,
7 plus 2.
so like we had
1, 2,
a
3.
Max
That's 8.
and a Max.
trying to
and a
fuck you up.
Molly. You're doing a good job.
Do, 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 do.
And then
Do, do, do,
Max
do.
and Zoe. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. A lot.
A lot.
Like the ones
You
that
had more than like the normal
so
person growing up,
the
I feel like.
we had a few. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ones that stick with me the most though are like the ones that I got in my adult life.
Yeah.
Like Whiskey
Right.
was like
Same.
a one that we a wonderful dog that we pulled out of the Boulder
was
Humane
so
Society. He was such
cool.
a sweetie.
He was.
But he would be
He was
not a dog
big.
I would take into Home Depot or the PetSmart because he was just a grumpy old man and I loved him for it. And
But
like,
at least like you recognize that
Mhm.
about your dog.
right.
Hello. It's not that hard.
No. Well, and I mean, and it's probably me too because my anxiety is transferring through that leash. And I'm like,
yes.
I am paying attention to everything. And I'm like,
Yes.
please don't. Please don't
And-
make me look bad. Like,
And I don't want to like sound like I'm being like discriminating against anybody. Like
Mhm.
I understand like emotional support animals. I
Yeah,
get that.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Are you kidding me? Captain's my emotional support
Oh,
animal.
yeah.
I can't not admit that.
Yeah. Like my dogs definitely hold a,
yeah.
like, Vinny for sure.
Like, do you miss Vinny?
Oh yeah.
Do you think she misses you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because she gets so excited when she sees us pick her up from the kennel. Like she loves going to the kennel. No, I don't want to say like the kennel is a bad place for her.
No,
like,
no. That's
this
just
is
where
like
you board
doggy
her.
vacation
yeah,
for
yeah,
her.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
it's
this
like
is
doggy
where
daycare, extended doggy daycare.
Yes, Vinny is not a house dog,
No.
so she loves to work,
Mhm.
and she is working there with
Right.
them. She's training with them, just for fun,
Right.
not for anything in specific.
Just because
So-
that's what she loves to do.
Yeah, and while
Yeah,
she's
that's
there,
so cool.
whatever they're working on with
Mhm.
whatever dogs they're working with, she always gets to get included in that.
Neat.
So it's fun for her. She's
right.
like,
And it just maintains her training.
yeah, like she forgets about us while she's there, and then she sees us, and she's like, "Oh yeah, my parents."
That's so
Like,
cool. That
when
they
we
have
pull in,
memories.
she's like, she knows.
She's like, oh shit,
she knows that she's there.
there you are.
Oh, no, when we pull into the facility to drop her off, she knows where she's
oh,
at.
where she knows where
Yeah.
she's going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
She's like, we're here to work.
Oh
We're
my
here
God,
to
how
do some
cute.
things.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I
but-
can't imagine in either of my dogs being that driven. Like Captain herds me around the house.
Mhm.
Like I've unfortunately created a routine to where if I don't walk him, play tug of war in the yard, and then have like cuddles on the couch, he is obnoxious. Like the
and it has
attention
to be like in
demanding.
the right order too.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I feed them in that time,
Right.
but like it's like if I skip a step, I
He
hear
know-
about it. I
they
hear about
know.
it. Yeah, and then if we don't go to bed at the right time, the normal time, they get all grumpy and then like they pace between the bedroom and where you're at, and they're like, you coming?
They're like, hello.
you gonna come? Like,
Mom?
it's like bedtime, yo. Like let's just do the thing where we all go in the room and sleep. Right?
Right.
It's so cute.
That's cute. They're like, our pack, it's we gotta go to the den.
We gotta move it to the den, guys.
So cute.
Yeah, I love it.
I love all of my dogs. Vinny is a very routine dog, obviously.
Yeah.
So my morning routine with her, our dogs here are just whatever. They're like, we just do whatever. They go with the flow. They don't care. They don't really have like a set routine, you know?
Right.
But Vinny, we go for her morning walk, and I feed her after breakfast,
Mhm.
or I feed her after the walk. Then, so that's like the morning routine. Nothing's fancy, right? But when I make my coffee after that walk, I always put whipped cream in my coffee. And like one morning, I gave her whipped cream one time.
Oh no! Now you're giving her whipped cream.
And
every
now
morning.
every time, like the next morning when I grab the whipped cream bottle out of the fridge, she like comes running over and sits down all pretty. I'm like, girl.
She's like, no, girl.
Exactly. And she looks at me and she's just like so proper. And I'm like, okay.
Fine.
So she's such a spoiled working dog now.
Well, yeah,
She went from living in the kennels to living in a
Just
big, comfy
high
dog
on
bed.
the hog and
Yeah.
a comfy dog bed. Yeah.
You know, she never lived in a home before she came to us. Like a lot of those types of dogs, they don't usually live in homes.
No.
Which is crazy to me.
They just stay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right? Because like what I think of as like a normal dog interaction is like a pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, up until obviously, like, I was aware of working dogs.
Yeah, right.
Obviously. But until like we started working with them and like learning all these things about, working dogs and all the training with them and like how their brains work and how different they are from a normal shelter dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a breeder even.
Right.
And like there's just so much information that I was completely
there's
unaware
a whole other side to
there
it.
There is.
Yeah.
And there's even so much more even beyond that.
Yeah.
When you start going into different categories of like the dog industry.
Like I love that the demand for search and rescue dogs became larger.
Yes.
Like
and
that
in
is
that
such
show,
a cool avenue for them.
Yeah, they talk about it in that show too, which is really, really cool. Kobos, Pat's dog, is trained in human scent.
Oh, crazy.
Which is crazy.
What a cool
it's
superpower to have.
So cool to it's so cool to see working dogs work.
Right.
Like it truly, truly is. Like their brain power is just insane.
Right.
It truly is remarkable to me.
And to think that they're so smart that they can do all these things, why can't they just communicate to us?
Exactly.
Through buttons.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Through buttons. That's too easy.
I guess.
Speaking of buttons, I think we're about done.
Is it time to put the off button? Fair enough.
Hit the end button. We kind of rambled a lot there about dogs.
Well, we're passionate about
Hopefully we gave a lot of information to you guys and it was interesting. I would say I would rate that show probably like a 9. It's a quick little hour informational show.
And it's narrated really well. It's easy to follow.
Yeah. It's not like you have to invest in watching it.
It's good. It's a good noise in the background.
It is. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe and tell all your friends.
Tell all your friends.
I'm Kristen.
I'm Jessica. Bye. Girl, did you hear?
Nah, girl.